Hi everybody, I'm Roxy Coss, and I'm here today to talk to you about the fact that jazz is a language. And you've probably heard this said before, jazz is like a language, but it really is a language. And, separate from jazz being a music, a type of music, a genre, or even an art form, when we're talking about jazz education or learning jazz as a jazz musician, we really need to start thinking about it as a language. When you learn any new language, like an additional language, a second language, a third language, whether you're talking about Spanish or French or Italian or Japanese, you would never try to learn that language without listening to people speak it and without speaking it yourself. And I think the number one mistake I see young musicians make when they're trying to learn to play jazz is that they don't listen to it being spoken. And the best way to listen to it being spoken, of course, is in person. So if you can go hear live music and go hear professional jazz musicians play in person, that's the number one way that I recommend you start absorbing this new language that you're learning. The next best thing, of course, because we can't do that all the time, is to listen to recordings of professional jazz musicians. And I've traveled all over the world, and I've heard many dialects of jazz being spoken, whether we're talking about in Poland or Australia, even in Canada. Everybody, even across the United States, plays jazz a little bit differently. And that's partly the beauty of it, right? Is that we express ourselves through jazz. Jazz is an art form of expression. And so, of course, as expression, we're expressing ourselves through this language. We are all going to do it differently. And that's what I love about jazz. However, we still need to be speaking the same language to understand each other and to more deeply express our ideas and our thoughts and our feelings. When you're learning a language, you have to learn the nuts and bolts, the words, the alphabet. And we do have a musical alphabet, right? We have to learn the vocabulary. And so you might hear your teachers talking about learning the language, learning the vocabulary. What does this mean to me? This means not only that you understand the theory of it, the alphabet, the chords, the scales, the harmony, the arpeggios, the rhythms, and how to define them and how to write them and read them, but it also means that you understand the cadence, the phrasing, right? And the way people speak. If I were to make this video as an English speaker and I had said everything I had just said without pausing, it would be really hard to understand my meaning because I'm not giving you cadence and phrasing. I'm not giving you any rests. We use articulation when we speak English, and we use articulation when we speak on our saxophones. And so these are the ways that jazz is a language, and this is why it's so important. I can play the same notes with the same notated rhythms, and it could mean two completely different things, right? So here's a little phrase for you. Now, technically, that was played in a jazz style. I used jazz articulation. I even used a little vibrato, pretty good sound, all the correct notes, eighth note rhythms, swing feel. But now I'm going to play it a little bit differently. Now it means something different. Maybe I more effectively portrayed what I wanted to portray. Now I'm going to play it differently. Now suddenly this isn't jazz to me. And the last version I played for you is what I hear all around the country when I'm hearing beginning improvisers. It's not jazz. It's the right notes, it's the right rhythms, but it's not jazz. And the difference is in the phrasing. And that's why jazz is a language. And so I encourage you, if you're wondering, well, how do I make it sound jazzier? The first thing you're going to do is listen, because you're going to have the answers as soon as you've been listening to other jazz musicians.